Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University, our final wrap-up episode in Avoiding Burnout. And this was by Adam's selection. I loved the topics that we're covering so far. The final one being maybe my favorite, Adam, which is this even for you? Maybe it's just time for you to get out, leave, be shunned from the community. And I have to say, as as snarky and sarcastic as I'm being intentionally, uh, this is a hard move for people because a lot of our identities are wrapped up in this. A lot of us stay too long in the community or in competition because we just don't know any other way to live. And when I have finally seen people almost literally leave entirely and they've just done something else with their lives, Adam, I see really happy people. I see
Mhm.
people who are like, yeah, I used to lift weights. Yeah, I used to compete. Now I rock climb or I bike or I just walk and I focus on other areas of my life. Like they're not obsessed any longer. And for the really healthy person, it wasn't even some kind of psychic break that they had to go through. They look at it as, yeah, just like other parts of my life, other seasons of life, that was developmental. I liked it. Now I'm just moving on to other interests. What an incredibly healthy thing to do if that's where you need to be.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, a lot of people get their identity tied up in this. The great thing about bodybuilding, you can put momentum into triathlons, any kind of activity. And typically, a lot of my clients do find another thing that they enjoy. One of my clients, Nicole Ferrier, she has found a love for gymnastics and actually is kind of making a turn to the fitness division now, which actually still happens to be a competitive bodybuilding sport. And what I think I want to put out there is, a lot of people will classify themselves with a disorder if they couldn't compete, or maybe they tried competing and just the diet wasn't for them. And they're like, I have an eating disorder. Well, maybe you don't have an eating disorder, but you can't diet rigidly enough to compete. That doesn't mean you have a disorder. I don't really want to jump out of a plane with a parachute on my back. I don't have a disorder. It's just something that isn't worth the thrill. And at the expense of my fear. And it's just like, I can ride a bike, but not fast enough to do the Tour de France, and that doesn't mean I have a disorder. I'm just not a great biker. And that's okay. It's okay to say, you know what, this wasn't for me, or I just couldn't do it. I would rather see someone say that than basically give themselves a life sentence of having a disorder just because they couldn't compete in bodybuilding.
It dovetails back into our conversation about just taking time off. And I want to juxtapose what I said about sometimes you just have to rip the band-aid off and leave and learn to enjoy something else in life. There are also plenty of things you can do in physique sport apart from the stage. And a client was really ruminating over like just retiring. I don't want to. It's just like I can't lose my pro status and blah blah blah. Yet I don't want to compete. Like, look, I felt that when I decided to lay my pro card down, but I'm still a former pro bodybuilder. I'm still working in this industry. I still get to go promote shows, judge shows, be at shows, coach, clients at shows. I didn't leave the sport. I just changed roles slightly. And so there's just so much room to stay in and craft different parts of your identity. Or, as I mentioned, sometimes it is better just to walk away and spend that time and energy developing other pursuits. But there really shouldn't be, I mean, there has to be some deliberation, there has to be some pretty deep thought because it is tied to so much of what we do. But it's not a make or break scenario. You can vacillate between changes in positions and mindsets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this series. Going back just through what we talked about with avoiding burnout, You can change training variety. You can change food variety. You can learn different aspects of dieting. You can try to discern how much time you need off entirely, whether it's a week off. Being okay with even a 2 week vacation where you say, instead of, oh my gosh, coach, what training should I do? Here's my hotel setup and this and this. Just maybe just take a week or two off, and then just knowing when to pursue other things so that you can balance your life in the big picture, not just per day or per week. But again, Adam, thanks for such a great topic and series. And we will see you guys next time in Contest Prep University.